All right, welcome back, friends. We're here for another episode of the Shelly Panzarella Show, and I'm extremely excited about this because the gentleman that we're about to talk to is one of my dear friends, and I always say that, but truly, he's like one of my dearest friends. He's also my partner in crime in our business. He's my business partner with Prosperity Lending, and honestly, he's the guy that's always behind the camera, so I'm really excited about the fact that he has decided to come out behind the cameras and in front of the cameras. Please join me in welcoming the man, the myth, the legend, the man of faith, Jared Penn. Welcome, dude.
How are you?
How was that?
Yeah, no, that was good. And you called it. If it wasn't for you, I would not be in front of the camera right now.
Well, let's just start off with that. With that, well, period, right? Because I think even our journey together, it's been something that you always say, well, if we never went out to lunch that day, I don't know what life would have looked like. That
was crazy. Yeah, that was that was bizarre how that happened. I feel like things happen for a reason when they're supposed to happen, and that lunch was supposed to happen that day, and here we are, 15 years later?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I mean, I think even that, and trying to count time, because I've lost track of time of how long we've actually been. I mean, I call you my work husband. I know my husband sometimes like, why do you call him that? I'm like, I really do see him more than I do see my.
Sometimes,
yeah, sometimes. But 15 years that we've been together, and maybe that, at the time we weren't really into the divine intervention type stuff, but maybe really that was his plan for us then, because it was one of your best friends that I saw at a bar. Yeah. Not that, it was
this was a while ago.
It was a charity event.
Back when we drank.
I saw him at a bar and he's like, hey, you need to reach out to Jared.
Yeah.
And it was at that point, for me, I was at Wells Fargo and I was like, hey, my intent was I had to continue to recruit all the time. Not that I didn't love recruiting or Wells Fargo, but you were one of the people that I sought after.
It is crazy how that happens. Yeah. And when you say we've lost track of time, I've always told people, I feel like it's dog years in mortgage. I've been doing it 18 years, but it feels like 40. I mean, it really it feels like with everything that we've gone through with, foreclosures and everything that happened in our market back in the day, and with rates going up now and the shifts and the turns, it does feel like we've had a whole lifetime of doing this, but it's really only been 18 years.
Well, and would you want to do it over again if you were to?
I would. I mean, I think everybody for the most part would. I would, as everybody says, make some changes, but if I would have made those changes, would I be where I am today and who I am? I mean, that's a lot to think about, and my dream was always to play professional baseball, but I always joke. Oh yeah. But I always joke with my parents, like, what if I would have died in a bus crash on the way to a AAA baseball game? I mean, so it's hard to say that, you wish you could have done this or that, because I'm still here and I got a family, and, so I try to just focus on that, and I'm here doing this for a reason. So yeah, if I would have made those changes, I might not be who I am today. Who knows?
Don't you think now more than ever we understand, okay, there's a different calling for, in the beginning we talk about like it was all about, just we were all over the place, different. I mean, our world looked different even from a team standpoint, but where we came from to where we are today, it definitely prepared us for where we are today.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that is we had to go through those rough times and have those relationships fail and deals fall apart and frustration or frustrating moments to kind of appreciate and to be where we are today.
Yeah.
When you're in it, you don't realize that. But looking back, and just like with the market today, I know in 5 years we'll look back and go, what did I learn from that time? And you'll go, oh, this is why that happened to me. This is what I took from it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's bad when bad things happen if you learn from it. If you don't learn from it and you don't grow from it, then it was horrible to go through whatever it is,
And to your point, when you said it's been like this for us, because 15 years we went through. I mean, you joined at Wells Fargo, so that was post housing crisis.
That was literally as it was kind of going on.
Yeah. And then we jumped out of Wells Fargo. But that whole thing there was a crazy time. I know for me, I know you and I at some point, we'll talk a little bit about the builder business, because I think that's something that for those that are lenders today, I think for you, you're known as the builder guy, but we'll talk about that. But that time in our life. I remember August specifically where we were like in Arizona, away from our families, week on, week off, or actually it was weekend off, week on, right? We were living in Arizona and trying to close all of those deals for one of your builders. You remember that?
Yeah, we didn't make much progress being out there. I mean, if anything, I feel like, I don't know. I understand why we went out there, but I don't think they wanted us there. We were trying to light a fire. It didn't go over well. And I remember doing a lot of grunt work, moving one file to another file, putting this away, shredding this, go get dinner for people, things like that, which wasn't the intention of us being out there.
Yeah. I don't know if we had an intention, actually.
I think the intention was to help by all means necessary, because the processing department was just on fire.
Yeah.
And we said, we don't know what to do other than just go there and help.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't know how much help we did, but we learned a lesson that day, right? That week is, okay, things are a lot worse here than we think they are. We don't have much control over this. And I think it was probably at that point that we said, maybe we need to look at moving on to a different opportunity.
Well, that was actually what prompted me. I remember, so kind of full circle on our business, because that was for a builder, which was Harmony Homes at the time, right?
I wasn't actually a part of that at that time.
The
builder business,
we were
right.
Closing out, and we had 100 units to close for them because of that tax credit. And it was honestly, I remember calling some of my partner or friends in the business, like, hey, if we can't get this closed, we got to figure out a way to get these done so that for the sake of our buyers that this gets done. And I think that's always been instilled in us, ingrained in us, whatever, that it's always been about our clients and serving. Like, we were literally flying out Sunday night to go to Arizona, staying all week away from our family. And our kids were young then.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, your kids are still young, but
it's like
young.
2, yeah.
Yeah. And then we'd fly home Friday night, spend time with them. Honestly, probably not even spend time. It was really just to relax and rest. And then Saturday, and then come Sunday again, we flew out. That was for a whole month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny part is, at the time, I don't remember it being so bad. It was enjoyable. It was like, hey, I'm traveling for business.
Yeah.
I'm flying with friends, and we're going to have some dinner and stay in a hotel, and it was different and fun. And if we had to do that today, I don't know that I would have the same attitude to do that.
I would agree with you, because we're so into like structure and rituals. And I mean, as we've aged, family for sure, as we've aged, I think there's a little like, I'm traveling this weekend, and for me, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's going to take like a couple days just to rebound from 2-day travel. Yeah. And
you still do travel a lot.
Maybe more so than you, but I don't think I travel
a lot more. Yeah. But you still do a lot for business.
And you don't?
No, I don't. I really, when was the last time we traveled for business? I can't even remember.
Last year for the President's Club.
But that's a trip, right? That's fun. Me and my wife, and we're having fun. I'm talking about like, we got to go somewhere. We have to fix something. We have to jump in. We have to motivate, whatever. You still do that. But you enjoy that part of the business.
I do. And now that I don't, my daughter's at home, or not at home. She's in college. It's much easier now that. And this is actually kind of cool. So I don't know if you know, Southwest has this thing called the Companion Fair.
I've heard of it. I just don't think I've flown enough to.
Okay. So we signed up. This is our first year. I don't know where we've been this whole time, but first year in getting it. And we're for this flight that we're heading out for this weekend. I booked it as a companion, and it's like $11 to travel with Rich.
That is
like
awesome.
Finally.
Yes.
So we'll be looking to travel a little bit more.
Did you have to spend a lot of money to get that opportunity though?
No, it's one of those like, get the credit card and get a free companion fare. So we'll probably not use it.
Okay. So it's only one time.
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
So he can fly with you all year?
No, I can fly with him. Okay. I'm the companion. Believe it or not, I know.
That's funny.
So yeah, those little things as your spouse holds over your head. You want to go travel with me? Anyways, I digress. So tell me a little bit about what you did before mortgage.
I was a water boy.
You're like on the sidelines of the
like Bobby Boucher. No, I worked for Sparkletts Water for 6 years.
Wow.
That's what my older brother did, and he was kind of like my my mentor growing up. And whatever Jeremy did, that's what I wanted to do. And so he was at Sparklets, and so I kind of followed him and got into the business.
And then what prompted you to get out of the business?
Somebody at Sparklets that I used to be friends with.
Is he the friend that
you met? Yeah. Okay. So he worked there, and he had jumped over into mortgage. Some of the Sparklets guys had gone into mortgage, and he had gone over there, and he said, "Hey, this is at the time he said this is really easy compared to what we had to do with Sparklets. It's not so easy anymore. But at the time, you could fog a mirror and get a mortgage.
Yeah.
So true. So he said, yeah, the pay is higher. And we had recently gone through some changes at Sparklets too, where they kind of capped our pay, and we were working harder for less money, and ownership had changed, and some of the older guys had left, and it just wasn't fun anymore. And I knew it was kind of time to go. So that friend that we were talking about got me into mortgage.
Wow. And what did you learn from being a water boy?
How to run a business.
Really?
Yeah, we were responsible for selling more water. We were responsible for collecting payments from the borrowers. From the clients. If they didn't pay their bill, we were responsible for collections and having to go get the equipment out of their house.
Wow.
Door-to-door sales. I mean, we had our own little mini business on our route. And so it taught me a lot of that.
I didn't know that. I thought you were literally just dropping off, picking up water.
Yeah, I wish that's all we had to do.
Yeah.
That was the easiest part of the job, is just dropping off the water and leaving.
Really?
Yeah. They'd fill us for 8 hours a day, and in your 20s, you're running around hustling. We'd get it done in 3 or 4 hours and go meet up and have a 2-hour lunch, or, as we called, crash the gates, go home early, watch the baseball games after work. So
you could, true like business owner then, right? Because you can kind of make up your own schedule as long as the clients are taken care of.
Yeah. They had a rule, I think it was 2:30. You couldn't come back before 2:30.
Oh, really?
And the funny thing is, I remember being out sometimes at 3:30 or 4 and being absolutely out of my mind, so upset that I was there that late. And then, coming into mortgages, you're working sometimes 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, Saturdays, Sundays. It's pretty funny how easy we had it just having to work until 2:30 or 3 o'clock.
Wow. Well, there were some times in our mortgage world where we would leave at noon, and we'd call it, when we used to have, Frosty Fridays?
Yeah, Frosty Fridays.
That used to be a thing where we'd have time on our Fridays, and we'd go and enjoy some time out at a bar.
Yeah, I mean, mortgage has changed a lot. There was a time where, we could cut out during the day and go have some food or go do some stuff and come back and handle what you needed to do, or shut down early, go have some drinks and things like that. But it's a little bit harder now than it used to be. And we've changed too, right? With our diets and things that we're doing health-wise, I can't imagine even trying to eat a buffalo chicken pizza right now with a 20-ounce beer. I'd probably make myself sick for days. So.
Well, and I know back then we could metabolize it probably a little bit better then.
Yeah, that's true. In our 20s, 30s.
It's totally different. But I remember that used to be something we used to always, it'd be like, okay, half day, literally half day, because we'd be slower at the time.
Yeah.
Relative to today.
And when you're in your 20s and 30s, you just want to go have fun anyways,
Yeah.
You kind of work to have fun.
Yeah. Do you think you'd change that in the business? Or in our business?
You mean not doing so much of it that we did, or doing more of that now?
Both.
I think I wouldn't change it back then. Would have been a little smarter about some of it. But if we did do something like that now, I think the idea of what I think is fun would change. I can't see myself right now at 3 o'clock going to a bar and eating and drinking like that and thinking that was fun.
Yeah.
Shutting down early and going to, a movie with the team like we did, or with customers, doing a charity event. I'm really dating myself here, but going to a museum or something I've never done before, even like a mob museum.
Yeah.
Something interesting that kind of gets my brain sparked, I think would be fun. Going to a bar right now, I can't think of anything worse than going to a bar and having a few drinks and just the noise and the smoke and I'm just at a different place in my life. But yeah, I mean, sure, it would be fun to cut out early on days and go do something fun, and team building and things like that, but different.
And we do that. I mean,
we do. We probably don't do as much of it.
Yeah.
But that's because, I feel like at this age, most of us are parents and things like that. And we're just at different points in our life where what I think is enjoyable, you may not think is enjoyable, or somebody else might not think is enjoyable. So what would be great is if we could find those things that everybody enjoys doing and doing more of those.
Well, and I think we're trying to get to that point, right? I know I talk a little bit about the shift coming out of COVID and into our new office. I mean, that's been a huge culture shift, I think, for us too, right? Just getting into the office. And I'd love to talk about that because I know it's been, a lot of people, a lot of businesses have struggled in getting back into the office, so to speak. There's a lot of articles out there on why it's super important. I think for us, at least personally, what I've identified is I have more energy. I'm a lot more productive, even though I don't really have anybody at home that is distracting me. There's just a different level of pace when you're at home.
For sure.
Than when you're in the office with a lot of the lights on and people talking and laughter happening and whatever the case may be. But that was a tough decision, right? You want to talk a little bit about that?
It was. It's that creativity, right? I mean, I read a story about Disney, which I sent to you several years ago, that Disney felt that it was more creative with people in an environment together, brainstorming, talking, having a good time than they were sitting at home doing their jobs. I thought it would have been easier for me coming into the office more. And maybe it's just because the kids are at home right now. It is tougher when you've been at home for 3 years to just stop that all of a sudden and go in. Even as simple as, you'll laugh, but with the meal plan that I'm on, I have my sandwich but now I have braces. And so now I have to water pick my braces after I eat. And when you're at home, it's just run upstairs, you knock it out, you brush your teeth, you're down, back to work.
Yeah.
I feel like in the office, it's okay. I got to pack everything up. I got to bring it in there. Then I got to go do it in a public restroom.
Yeah.
So sometimes I really don't brush my teeth after I water pick. I'll just go back in because it's weird brushing my teeth in a public bathroom and, things like that. So just even simple changes like that I didn't think about, you would have to deal with and focus on going back into the office. So I know it's been tough for some of our teammates. They have their own sandwich water pick issues that they're more comfortable with at home. So I get that. But at the end of the day, I think we'll all be better for it. And at some point, I think that's where the industry is going to go.
Yeah.
It's funny, the kids' clothes nowadays. My son said the other day, he wanted jorts. Do you know what jorts are? They're jean shorts. Oh. Now, when he was growing up, he would have looked at a picture of me back in my 20s with jean shorts and said, Dad, you are like boomer, unbelievable. I can't believe you used to wear this stuff. High-rise pants for girls are back. They're from the 70s.
Way to wear them, yeah.
Flare jeans, which I've never been a fan of, are back, right? So I think us coming back into the office, and I say that because, again, us coming back into the office, I think that's where the industry's headed.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, we're all in the office, and then, we don't really need to be in the office. Well, now here we are a few years later. Yeah, we really should be in the office.
Yeah.
And so I think that's coming back as well. The more people I talk to, the more people want to be back in for that creativity. I think it's important for what we do.
Well, and so outside of the fact that you have, the water pick and you have the sandwich and the structure and stuff like that, what do you see the benefit in being in the office?
Oh, I do. Yeah. When I'm at home on days where it's really slow, at the end of the day, I feel like I didn't accomplish anything and it was a wasted day. When I'm in the office, that phone could ring just as many times or less, but I felt like I accomplished something because I was out of my house, having communication with people in the office. Sometimes simply just going somewhere, makes you feel like you accomplished something, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's just on a Sunday going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Okay, I got out of the house. I did something I was supposed to do today. Yeah. So for me, I've definitely noticed a difference.
Yeah. Well, I know it's, and we talk a lot about this, like it's like turning this ship because it's not just, hey, we're bringing you back into the office, but oh, by the way, we are going to want to do charity events. Oh, and by the way, we want to have a team meeting and a celebration meeting mid-month. And we also want to do client appreciations, and we want to do all of these things, which I think we didn't do for many years.
Right.
And so although it seems, as we talk through it, like who wouldn't want to have a client appreciation? Who wouldn't want to have a bi-weekly meetings with your team? It's something that it's still hard to like, oh, we have to go. Oh, another meeting. Oh, we got to go to these charity events. I feel our team is embracing it, but I feel it's also been very hard.
For sure. I can say that you and I have been talking about one-on-ones with our team, charity events, and client appreciation for probably over 2 years. It wasn't until we got back into the office that we were actually able to make these things happen because we're there. Yep. So if we're there, we might as well be doing stuff. Right. So we've done, just in the few months that we've been back in the office, we've done a client appreciation. We've done a charity event. There's another one scheduled, and we've done probably 3 one-on-ones with each one of our employees. Yeah. And that's just since the beginning of the year. So that alone is a huge success, I think.
I agree. And I think that's the leadership aspect for you and I, right? It's that we have to kind of stay consistent in what we've set we are going to do, what we've set out to do, which is that. You know, and I honestly, I mean, even with the one-on-ones, didn't really, I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool, whatever. But I really do enjoy them because it's not just an opportunity for you and I to talk about here's what we got going on. It's really for them also to kind of express what's going on in their lives.
For sure.
And that's helping us to kind of, in a different way, where we used to go and hang out, at Frosty Fridays. Maybe that was the way that we used to connect. This is kind of a different way to connect. Yeah,
you and I have one-on-ones like daily, I feel like. That's why I'm laughing, because we're, I mean, if not every day, every other day, what's going on, something that's come up, we've talked. And so it is important, I think, for us to do that with our team as well, because they have stuff they want to talk about.
Yeah. And I think that's the shift, right, is that we have to get them to that point. And we're going to look back on this day like a year from now maybe and say, remember when we used to like have to pull you guys to come into the office, and remember those one-on-ones and you used to hate them and whatever, and then everybody's just laughing and joking around and enjoying it,
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping in when things calm down, or should I say pick up, and we're full steam ahead and everybody's max capacity, we're gonna sit them down and go, now, do you guys understand now why we opened up maybe a little bit sooner than some would have thought we needed to or hoped for? But I think I'd rather be on the earlier side of the shift than chasing it.
I would agree. And that's actually a really good point. I don't think people realize, like, that was a big leap of faith for us. Well, people, like all our peers in the industry, are like cutting back, moving back home full time. And we're like, hey guys, we're opening an office, and now we're bringing you guys all in, and we're hiring a marketing director. Yep. All of these big moves. I mean, even I think for you and I, were like, are we doing the right thing?
I think we both individually heard too. Really? You are?
Yes.
Like right now you are?
Yeah.
I know our corporate downsized. I have 2 friends in the industry that shut down their offices, and they're working from home. I remember you telling me a real estate agent who you respect very well was like, you're really doing that right now? Do you think that's wise? Yeah. But I also remember telling you that we either want to do this the way that we want to do it and that we think is the right way and the best way, or we don't want to do it at all. And I think I stand firm in that. Like if you told me I can never work in an office with a team that inspires me again, I would say maybe this isn't the right career for me anymore. I need to be around inspiration. I need to be learning. I need to be growing. I need to be full of passion, or else, what are we doing?
Well, and I think we've had, like, that was a heart-to-heart for you and I. Like, because I share this story a lot. Like, there was a point in time where I'm like, maybe we've hit the end. Like, maybe this is where the road led us.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk about that on here, but
yeah, I mean, I've talked about it. I like that major financial whiplash for me of like, we were all here on the high of making the most income we've ever made in our life. And then all of a sudden, the rug gets pulled from underneath us, and we're like, what the heck? Yeah. And I know we had the conversation of like, listen, we either have to make a decision that we are going to move and grow forward, or we need to just thank each other for the time that we've had and kind of cut the chains and like be done with mortgages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, my income being impacted as much as it has been tough. But I think the bigger impact has been my purpose. Mm. My purpose for so long was doing a mortgage. Somebody would call me, they needed help. I'd say absolutely, and jump in and help somebody out and close the deal. And then obviously we get paid, and that's great. There have been times in my life where I wasn't making a lot of money, but I was so busy helping people and my purpose was fulfilled, I didn't think about the money. But when you're not making money and your purpose isn't being filled, that's where it's been tough. So, in a normal month where I'm doing 15 or 20 deals, now I'm doing 4 or 5. I have a lot of extra time on my hands to think about what am I doing? Like I'm not fulfilling my purpose right now. So for me, it's really been that. Is some of it about the money? Absolutely. And I probably more than it should be and too much. But not fulfilling a purpose, I think, has been a tougher struggle because I do enjoy helping people. Yeah. I really do. And when the phone's not ringing or there's not enough people to help, or the phone's ringing and you can't help the people on the other line because the payment's just too high, that's been tough.
So what are you doing to work through that?
God, man, spiritual. Having faith and just knowing that this is part of the plan and what's he trying to teach me from this, Yeah. So I didn't mean to, you asked me, I'm telling you.
No. I
don't know who's listening to this, but I mean, I'm just being honest, and
yeah.
I've privately told you, I think this is part of the purpose and I just gotta trust the process. He's teaching me something.
For sure. I sometimes you always wonder, okay, if the door gets open, it gets open. I mean, I think for everybody out there, they know that I'm faith-based. You all, mm-hmm. Honestly, I'd love to talk a little bit about this because I don't know.
We'll lose a lot of people right now.
No. I don't know. No, hopefully this is what keeps people on. I don't know if our relationship would have been the same and this journey to this point today based off of even last year had we not had the same type of had we not had the same business partner in God, to be honest. Like I'd say it like that.
I think we'd still be working things out, but I don't think we would. I feel like we've grown closer in the last 9 months because of that. I think we'd still be like, oh, we're still together. I can't retire. You can't retire. Let's just stick it out. The kids need us,
like
right?
That wonderful marriage.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're kind of together because it just makes sense. There's nothing better. Yeah. But I think what's made it stronger is that, the faith for both of us is like, we're having a conversation one day and the next day something happens and we're like, see, like mm-hmm. This is a reminder we're on the right path and mm-hmm. we need to stick to it. So, a lot of marriages last just because there's nothing better for them to do. But the marriages that I feel the strongest are the ones that are constantly trying to improve, communication's good. And you find a common love, a common goal, a common passion, and I think work marriage, right? I think we've found that in the last 9 months, where before it was like, we just work together, let's make as much money as we can and ride this out as long as it goes. I feel like it's shifted.
Well, and I think that's also shifted in our purpose around. And honestly, and in our practice, because I know like the hard decision to open an office, like I think we both said, hey, we need to pray about it. I don't know that
Absolutely.
We've ever had that. That for me, it was like, okay, we're going to pray.
Yeah.
Like, what does that even look like? And then it was kind of confirmation when, they shut down the office and stuff like that. And it was like, all right, I think this is confirmation that this is something we need to do. And my favorite thing to say is lean into it, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that this, for me, it's been refreshing because it's a different type of conversation. It's still business.
For sure.
We still talk about mortgages. We still talk about stuff that happens and we still, whatever, our daily lives are going on. But there's definitely a different foundation around what we're doing today.
That's something that I've always held close to the vest, and not a lot of people know about me, is how religious I am. Even when I strayed away a little bit and wasn't, maybe as good as I should have been, that faith was always there. And in my readings recently, it said, like, what would you tell people about yourself if you didn't have to hold back? And I feel like in this industry, or really any industry, when you're in sales, right? Like, you need the consumer, you need people to want to buy your product. And I feel like sometimes you can't always be your true self. And that's something within the last 6 to 9 months, I've said, you know what, the hell with it. Like, I just want to be myself. And if you like me, great. If you don't, that's okay too. But I've tried it the other way. And it's a double-edged sword because people still don't like you and you're not being your true self.
Yeah.
And then that's real misery, right? Mm-hmm. I think I can handle if I'm being myself and somebody doesn't like me for it. I think I can handle that easier than if I'm being somebody I think they want me to be and they still don't, come over, so to speak, and work with me. I think that's where I was really setting myself up for failure.
Well, and it's hard to hear you even say something like that because you've been in the business 20 plus years, right?
Yeah.
20 years. And,
almost, yeah.
I mean, you have an impeccable reputation, almost close to mine, but I'm just kidding. Better than
it's
mine.
True, yeah.
No. You have an impeccable reputation for being somebody who, from the builder world, you're always, whether you're part of the builder business side of it, you're always preferred builder, backup builder, or preferred lender on that. And that, to me, I think speaks to just how you perform, how you kind of set us up to perform. I follow a lot of the things that you set up in your business. And so I think to some extent, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit on that. But I do understand, like, there comes a point where you're like, hey, why am I still begging for you to do business with me? And maybe
right.
Begging's not the right word.
Right. I know what you mean.
Yeah. And I think having the foundation of confidence and courage with God as the background, I think that changes things now because you have definitely shifted where it's not about, oh, I need this deal, I need this realtor to work with me. It's now like, what can I do to help them, the realtor specifically? Or now I'm just trying to build relationships.
And that's where I think I say, if I'm being true to myself and I can help somebody, great. If I'm being true to myself and there's not a need for that, I have to be okay with that. And as crazy as that sounds, I work to earn a paycheck for my family. So it's hard to actually say, I'm going to be my true self. And if that doesn't turn into dollars, that's okay. But that's where my mindset is right now. And I'm trying to take from this what I can and learn from every gained opportunity or every missed opportunity. Again, I do feel that things happen for a reason to push you in a certain direction. 100%. People are in your life to guide you where you're supposed to go. And it does no good to fight it. Like right. It is what it is, you know? And I've lost a lot of really good friendships over the years that at the time has really broken my heart and made it tough. Looking back, as we talked about earlier, I understand why things happened that way. This happened because of this. And I'm better for it, Yeah,
I always say there's a reason for each season. And you sometimes in this season or as you're transitioning out of that season, it's always hard to understand. Mm-hmm. But I think as you mentioned, when you look to understand what it is, the lessons or the gifts or whatever it might be that has through those hardships or the seasons, you'll find it to realize.
I've told people that one of the hardest things to do was short selling my house back in 2012 when I did. My son was born in that house, and watching people come by to buy it at auction, to watch my wife cry and everything was the hardest thing ever. And I felt like a complete failure for my wife. If you ask me now, what did I learn from that? That's when I started saving money. Mm-hmm. Now financially, we're more, we're better equipped to handle what's going on right now because I learned that lesson back then. So one of the worst times of my life in a sense of like losing something that, I'd worked so hard for was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Right. So you have to look at things like that, as long as you learn from it and grow, you'll look back and go, all those bad things, those worst times of my life were actually one of the best things that ever happened.
Well, and I think that's the difference, right? It's the perspective aspect of it. Some people can't see the gift.
Right.
Or even if it's years down the road, which, I'm sure the savings aspect didn't happen overnight after you sold the home. Years down the road, you realize, hey, that was the lesson.
Yeah.
And some people may not, they could be
There's a lot of
blaming.
lessons.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Overspending.
Yeah. Even though we feel like we're kind of being reset in that,
for sure,
that mindset today in this economy. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. So I'd like to talk about the market, what your thought is on what it was. I don't know if it was pre-COVID, because it really did happen for us in COVID, to where we are today, specific to the market. And you as a lender, those listening who are buyers, like, what would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned from this shift in the market, or what you see as a shift in the market?
Man, that's a tough question.
Don't cry.
No. Yeah, it's not that. I'm trying to figure out how to answer it. Ask me that question again. I mean, I'm really trying to.
So what do you feel is the biggest change in the market coming from, let's just say, rates, low interest rate environment to the higher interest rate environment today?
So I have two sides of this. One is a side for us as originators, and one is a side for somebody who doesn't own a house. For me as an originator, the biggest impact with what happened during COVID is every single person in my database refinanced their home into a rate in the low 3s or 2s. Now, unless you have to do something, or you're getting divorced or moving, or something unforeseen, you're not doing anything again. Mm-hmm. Even the people that own those homes are trying to keep them as rentals. So there's less inventory on the market, where normally they say, hey, we want a new house. We're going to sell our house, buy a new one. They're going, man, this rate's 2.75. I'd be crazy to let this go. This is an investment.
Yeah.
So that's impacting the amount of transactions, the need for transactions. When everything was going on back then, I didn't see that. And I'm frustrated with myself, because I had learned so much from the first crisis, but the first crisis was completely different than the second crisis, right? Uh-huh. I wouldn't even call it a crisis. I mean, people have great rates. It's a good problem to have.
Right.
But it's caused issues in the economy. So that is one thing I wish I had seen coming. I couldn't have done anything to change it, right? Don't refinance, But yeah. I think for the people that don't own a house, their biggest issue is qualifying. I mean, you have somebody that has an $800,000 house at 2.75. Their payment is similar to somebody buying a $350,000 house right now at 7.5%. Yeah. And they don't make the same amount of money. I mean, there's a huge income gap there. So I think that's been the biggest problem. Is there's still a desire, there's still a need, there's a qualification problem, and there are times where you can get somebody qualified and they're going, there is absolutely no way I can make that payment. So you're dealing with that as well. It's both.
Yeah. And what would you say? I mean, I know you're not a politician and you're not running for office yet, but what would you say would be the best way to solve that? Is it lower rates, do you think?
Honestly, I don't know. I've thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
Because I think if I had the answer, I would run for office, because you'd probably win, right? I don't know how this solves itself. I think when rates drop, you're going to have another stampede of people wanting to buy a home.
Sales prices will start.
And what is the seller going to do? They're going to start bumping their prices up.
Yeah.
People are going to start paying over appraised value, and we're going to cause another problem. I don't know what the solution is. Maybe it's just, and I hate to say this, but maybe it's to slowly bring rates down instead of going from 7 to, hey, inflation's great, and now we're going to be at 4.5.
Yeah.
Which would help us, right? You and I, selfishly. Maybe it's to go from 7 to 6.5 and pause, and then go from 6.5 to 6 and pause, and then, slowly bring it down.
Yeah.
Because I think if it drops fast, like it did during COVID, and I understand why it had to, look what happened.
Yeah, it's exactly.
As we're talking about, we have to learn from our previous mistakes. It's not a problem if we can learn from it. And so somebody listening right now with an economics degree might go, this guy's an idiot. He has no idea what he's talking about. And I would agree. I don't know what the right answer is. That would be my only suggestion, is to go slow, because if they drop fast, we're going to have another stampede. Prices are going to go up. People are going to start overpaying for homes again. And if there ever is a market correction, you're going to have more people upside down in their houses.
Then you'll see the '08 crisis again.
Maybe not as bad, but yes, there would be a problem.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on like a 40-year term? Do you think lowering the payment makes the affordability factor better, but extending the term?
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, that wouldn't, I don't see that hurting. I don't see people getting in over their head. It's not like we offer a 40-year term and investors come out of the woodworks. I don't think that. So I think that something like that could help for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and it's fixed. So it's not like an arm or a temporary buy down. It's, hey, just, you'll probably die in the house, right? But you just make this payment for 40 years, the house is yours. Yeah. So yeah, I could see that being a benefit.
That could help. And some people are also talking about builder credits to get builders to build more homes. So we have more inventory to kind of stabilize the sales price aspect of it. And then I remember.
But can we talk about that for a second? Yeah. And we work with a lot of builders, so I want to be very respectful how I say this. So I'll say this wouldn't be any builder that we work with, right? But big corporations are trying to maximize profitability. Yeah. And so if they have more homes to sell, they're going to bump the prices up. I mean, we see it right now where home prices in some builders are going up $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for every 2 or 3 or 4 sales. So if they had more inventory and they kept doing things like that, that doesn't help a buyer at all with affordability.
But doesn't that slow down demand though? Because I think the big issue right now is with the builders that we work with, they release only 2 to 3 homes a phase now. Right. Well, what if they were to release 6 to 8 homes a phase? Then the demand over that, they couldn't really get the higher sales prices because they've got 8 homes that they could offer where maybe some are sitting there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Versus the 2 that are you got 8 people waiting for these 2 homes.
But if you have lower rates, more people are going to get out there, buy those homes. True. Prices will go up more. So maybe it's some combination of all of that. Yeah. More inventory, a little bit lower rates, plus time, just slow things down a little bit. Yeah. Make homes more affordable, but slow it down so it's not this crazy pace.
Yeah, I do agree that the pace has to happen slowly to come down. I think that definitely has to be where we're no, drop them like it's hot right now. We need it all today.
Honestly though, are you? Because as much as I'd like to make more money, if tomorrow my phone was ringing off the hook and I had to do, during COVID, I was doing 50 deals a month. Let's say I was doing 25, just like coming back into the office, I don't know that I would mentally be able to handle going from 5 deals a month to 25 deals a month if the light switch turned on like that. So again, it goes back to, what if you went from 5 to 7 and 7 to 9, 9 to 12? It would give companies time to staff up. It would give people, trying to think of the phrase, more time to kind of get back into the office, get comfortable with that pace again. I don't see any negative effect with doing things slower to get back to a normal market, whether it's a consumer paying what the house is worth, builders and sellers still making a good profit, loan officers and realtors still getting compensated well, but not having things go bananas where realtors are stressed out, lenders are stressed out, buyers are overpaying for houses. I don't think that serves anybody well.
Jared, I think you could run for office. I'd vote for you.
Yeah.
Based on what you just
I don't know how to get there though. I'm just in my opinion.
You could. Well, and I mean, I think this is also what I love about our relationship, because truthfully, I've never thought of it like that. And I think you and I have that great combination around different thoughts and opinions, and yet we still are aligned under one common goal for us. But that I agree. Now that you've mentioned, I'm that is right. Because even yesterday when I felt I was back to back because we had fallouts coming in and appointments, and I mean, even personal appointments, like a dentist appointment, I'm maxed out. Yeah. And I look at my calendar, I'm no, I'm not. What's happening right now? But it was so back to back and created by myself, but I couldn't see myself having the 10 20 deals, 15 deals or whatever just dropped on my lap. Because
overnight.
We're talking about 2.
Absolutely.
You know,
and if you're doing 20 loans, you're doing 40 applications.
100, yeah.
So
right.
imagine you're doing 40 applications,
Yeah.
closing 20 of those
Yeah.
overnight.
Yeah.
Or in the next 2 weeks, you'd go, oh my gosh. And what would we say to each other? Hey, great problem to have. We need to figure this out.
Exactly.
But
Totally.
yeah, so in my mind, slowing things down,
Yeah.
I think helps everybody.
Yeah,
Realtors, lenders, sellers, buyers. Just let's slow things down a little bit.
Well, and that would be one of the greatest lessons I think that we saw from COVID, right? It's really to transition slowly into this shift. It can happen. It should happen. But I agree with you on that. So let's shift more on the real estate side. So the NAR settlement, I know it doesn't necessarily impact us, but what are you hearing? What are your thoughts on that on the lending side?
What I'm hearing is... again, what I'm hearing is I don't think is reality. So I'm going to tell you what I'm hearing and then what I think, right?
Okay.
What I'm hearing is realtors are trying to find ways to compensate for their loss of income because their income is going to be impacted.
Do you think that?
I don't think it will be.
Okay.
What I think is going to happen is the cream will rise to the top. I think the very good realtors that have a great name in this town, that are very, very strong, have a good client base, are going to go, hey, this is why I'm worth my 3%, and this is what you're going to get from me for my 3%. And the ones that are part-time realtors, don't do a lot of business, don't really have a lot of clients, they're the ones who are going to come in and do it for 1.5. But I can tell you, as somebody who's worked with realtors for over 18 years, there is a big difference between realtors that can justify earning their paycheck and realtors that cannot. Whether it's the relationships that they have, the people that they know, the doors that they can open. If I were selling my house, I'd want a real estate agent who knows everybody in town. Everybody wants to know my realtor. He's going to do everything he can to sell me my house. He's not going to tell me what I want to hear. He's going to tell me what I need to know. And there are going to be realtors that are looking for ways to make up their commission. But I think some of those realtors, maybe if they just, I don't mean for this to sound bad. And I'm not saying any names, right? Because the realtors that I work with are all very, very good. So, but we've had those occasional run-ins with a realtor and you're going, I know a little bit more about the contract than you do. And that shouldn't be the case, right? I think for those people, they should step their games up. Instead of looking for another way of supplementing your income, learn more, educate yourself more, go meet more of your peers, and then sit down with a buyer or a seller and justify why you're worth that 3%. And I think if they do that, their income won't be impacted at all. I wouldn't mind paying 3% selling my house if I knew that I was getting nothing but the best in that industry from that realtor. I'd have no problem with it. So I don't think this impacts the top 5 or 10% of real estate agents. I really don't. When we got our shift with our commissions, several years ago, it was tough figuring it out. But here we are all these years later, and we don't even think about it anymore.
Right.
There are times where I wish I could adjust my comp accordingly to compete with a credit union or something like that. But it impacts me so little that I really just don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
So, again, my opinion, the best realtors in town, this isn't going to affect them at all.
Yeah, well, and I think what we saw through our shift was the cream did rise to the top, right? And a lot of people got out of the business because it was harder, not even harder to compete for rate side of it. It was harder to compete in the experience and value aspect of it, where I think that's going to be the same thing for our for the realtors today.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that. What about on the listing side? Do you think that I hear as a lender, we need to start spending more time with our listing agents. Do you feel like that's going to be a place that we need to focus on?
It can't hurt. But again, I think most good listing agents are going to go, this is why you want to offer 3%. And it's always negotiable, or 2 or 2.5. And there's always going to be a buyer's realtor. I wouldn't want to go in this market right now and buy a house without representation.
Yeah,
that's just me.
Yeah.
And I know enough to be dangerous, but you don't know what's on that other side. They're representing the seller. I want somebody representing me. So we can always do more. right, of having conversations with listing agents. Hell, we can do more of having better conversations with buyer's agents and borrowers. True. So I think we need to pick up our game as well as loan originators. But I just don't think, and I could be wrong, this will be as much of an impact as everybody's making it out to be right now, you know, and you got to remember the news channels are for profit, right? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Fear drives ratings.
Yes.
Logic does not. So the more clicks they can get on scaring people and, oh, this is this big change, the better off they are. But the people in the industry and the people I talk to, I haven't had one realtor call me yet and freak out at all, you know? So I just don't think they're that worried about it. They're going to adapt and figure out what they need to do.
Well, you probably are working with some of the top agents in town. And I think because of where they are and they know this is their career long term, like with everything, right? It shifts and they just have to figure out a way to adapt, you know, and I agree with you. We're fortunate enough to have some of the agents that we have been working with for many years, and this is their career. Yeah. So they're not looking to jump ship or find a side hustle or any of that stuff. They're learning how to navigate through this shift and be better on the, you know, coming out the other side.
100%. I think if you take the top 5 or 10% of realtors in this town, they're not just good realtors. They're very, very, very smart people. Yeah. They are intelligent, some of the smartest people you'll ever meet. They just happen to do real estate. And so they'll figure it out. I mean, if you went to, I think you and I both have trainers. If you went to your trainer and one diet wasn't working, your trainer wouldn't go like, no, I don't know what to tell you. He'd go, okay, I've been through this before. And I have a degree in nutrition or whatever it is. And you would adjust accordingly. There's multiple ways to do it. And so, again, in talking with some of the top realtors in this town, these guys and girls are very, very sharp, very intelligent. I don't think they're worried at all.
Yeah, that's good. What about for somebody new coming into the industry that's a lender that wants to come into the mortgage industry? What would you say to them about coming into the
Honestly, I think it's a great time. And and here's why. Old dogs like us, we're used to making a certain income. And we've been significantly impacted. Yeah. You could make 6 figures in this market, and for most people making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year at their job, for them to make 6 figures is like life-changing. So a lot of people in our industry might go, man, I made $100,000 last year. This is terrible. You have some people getting into the industry going, are you joking? I just made $100,000. Yeah. I can send my kid to private school. I can get that extra car my family needs. I can start saving some money, whatever that is. I think it's a great time. You get in while it's slower. There's more time with realtors, have conversations. People are less busy. Yeah. I'm looking at this as like, this would be a great time to get in the industry. If you could do 2 loans a month for, again, old dogs, that's a failure. That's like, I got to pick my game up. For somebody new going, man, I did 2 loans this month. That's phenomenal. Yeah. And that's where you and I started is 1 loan a month. Then it was 2. Then it was 3. You work your way up. So I think it's a great time.
Well, so, and I don't want to give us a plug, but I will, because a shameless plug, because I do think, I mean, even for me personally, you know, it started off with me recruiting you and you were a loan officer on my team. But in this transition of 15 years, we flipped and honestly became business partners. And then you were really more a mentor for me because I had to learn how to truly go out and originate loans. And I would say you are really the best in the business from that standpoint. And so anybody listening who's thinking about joining a team, coming into the mortgage side of it, I would definitely encourage you to reach out to us. Jared doesn't have social media, but he would definitely be somebody that he's been a great mentor for me to learn from. And I say that truly with love, because everything you do, I'm like, what are you doing? Because I need to do it. And we're, you know, to some extent equals, right, from that standpoint. Right. And it's only because you've built such a great reputation and you do business the right way. And I think anybody even if you're in the business today and you just need to up your game or you just need to hit a different level, like reach out to us, reach out to Jared and get to know all of what the old dog over here does to grow his business. Anything you want to say on that? No,
I appreciate it. I mean, I feel like I've adapted over the last 18 years, and I'm not today where I was when I started or halfway through my journey. Yeah. I'm in a different place, but to that point, I have a lot of information about, what to do, what not to do. A lot of people in this industry will teach you how to make money, but they won't teach you how to handle success.
True.
And unless you've ever experienced the stressors that can come along with success, you don't want to go through that. So I would say, whether it's me or Shelly or anybody else, find somebody who's very successful in this or in any industry. And it's equally as important to learn how to deal with success that it is to be successful.
That's great. That's going to go on your social media posts
that
you don't have.
No, that I don't have, yeah.
I agree with you, though, and thank you for sharing that, because I do think that you can go at it alone, right? But you will be 10 times more powerful when you have somebody who's already carved the way, built the path, whatever you want to say, that can help you and guide you through that. I don't know that we had that. I mean, I think we had each other from that system.
No. I mean, we've kind of fumbled and stumbled along. There was nobody doing what we were doing as we were coming up. And honestly, I don't even know that they would have thought to pull us aside unless they had their own struggles. So I think we just fumbled through it, and thank God we're both here, and we're smarter for it and wiser, and
I agree.
So,
well, I want to shift out of the business side of it and talk a little bit, since you talked about us being old dogs, and I'm assuming you're referring just to yourself, old dogs and also like personal training. You talked a little bit about how our shift from pizza, the buffalo chicken pizza and beer, to protein bars and water and eating every 2 hours. But I want to also talk a little bit about, because I'm pretty open about my shift in like hormone therapy. And I know this is something new for you.
Yeah.
Not that you're doing hormones like I'm doing hormones, or maybe you are.
No, not yet.
If you're okay to open that door on what it's been like for you, and honestly, how you got to the point where you're like, I need to do something different.
I think it was through many conversations with some of my peers that are a little bit older than me, my trainer, my doctors, enough commercials with Doug Flutie and people going, that you just got to feel a little better. Yeah, Nugenics or whatever. Yeah. So I've recently started taking testosterone. This morning actually was my 5th shot. That's probably why you can't shut me up on this thing today. I'm a little, if you would have caught me yesterday, I wouldn't have said much. There's been a lot of positives. There's been a couple of downers. I think my body's just trying to process what's going on.
How long have you been on it?
This is my 5th week. So I'm going into my 5th week. Today was my 5th shot. So there have been days where I'm going, man, I had no idea how bad I felt before. I was just, because I feel so good. And I'm on a very, very low dose. And there are days where I am emotional. And I've had some other things. I've had a couple of migraines, which, as I'm Googling research, that is a thing with TRT and migraines. Some people have experienced it because our hormone cycles are all over the place. But yeah, so I'm brand new in my journey. I did some more blood work yesterday. We'll see how that turns out. I think it's too early to tell, other than, talk to your doctors if you're thinking about it. Again, there have 70% of the time I feel absolutely phenomenal. And it's just, a lot of people hear testosterone and they instantly go to sexual. And that's not what it is. It is.
Or juice.
Yeah. Like
steroids.
You can see clearer. You think clearer. A lot of the brain fog's gone.
Yeah.
Your overall outlook on life is just, everything's going to be okay. Things are going to work out. I mean, it's just your whole attitude shifts. And even on the down days where you're a little emotional, it's not like you turn depressed. It's just like, oh, I'm a little more sad than I normally am, but you still have a decent outlook on life. My anxiety is like 90% gone.
Really?
Yes, which I've read up on that too. That's been the best kept secret. Nobody prepared me for the fact that if you're somebody that struggles with anxiety, that it could help. I didn't realize low testosterone could lead to anxiety and affect anxiety. So as I've personally struggled with anxiety over the last several years, I've gotten myself out of it through therapy, but I still struggle with it from time to time. And part of it could have been just as I'm getting older, my testosterone levels are dropping. And so that's been a bonus. I didn't expect that in this process.
Yeah.
And again, only 5 weeks in, 4.5 weeks in, ask me in 6 months. I don't know. It might change, but that's been a plus.
Well, and I was going to ask you, do you feel like you wish you had this, because you're mid-40s now, maybe late 30s or whatever the case is. But I mean, the whole anxiety stuff happened, in your 40s or late 30s, right?
In my late 30s, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that could have shifted things.
It's easy for me to say yes, but I go back to what we've been talking about the whole time. No, because who knows what would have happened.
True.
Maybe I needed to go through a lot of this to appreciate feeling good.
For sure.
To know where I want to be, to where I want to get to. Maybe this is just the time. And I don't mean to bring everything back to, all the purposes and faith and things like that. But that's just where I'm at in my journey right now, is thinking that everything has a time and a place and a reason for happening. So with my struggles, would I have liked to have less anxiety and things like that over the last several years? Of course. But I think it's molding me into ultimately who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
I never forget that this is where you could get me emotional, but we're past 60 minutes, so maybe we just cut all this. No. But I've been in some really dark places. But looking back, if there's somebody that I can help that's going through it now, maybe there's a reason I'm going through this.
Yeah.
And it's to help somebody from not taking that final step of maybe ending their life. And if I could do that or help just one person, then everything I went through was worth it because I'm still here.
Absolutely. And I would agree with you on that. I think it's been amazing to watch the journey that and I'm grateful I've had the opportunity to see your ups and downs, and that we've been able to kind of, we've been together through it. And I'm grateful that, I feel like you definitely have come out well on the other side. And I love your new purpose and passion that you've been screaming about. I mean, and I don't mean like Chatty Cathy screaming but I do feel it's so different for you, and because it helps inspire me as well. Every time I lose that sense of what the heck am I doing this for? Oh, I got to do all this stuff. And then I get a phone call from Jared, the daily phone call of my pep talk.
And that goes both ways. I mean, there have been times that I'm down and I'll talk to you, and that just goes back to surrounding yourself with 100%. The best people, people that are all pushing in the same direction, trying to be positive, staying positive. I think that's important to have those people in your life.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I'm grateful that you're one of those people for me. So what is next for Jared Penn?
I don't know.
Mortgage industry for sure, right? We don't have an exit strategy yet.
No, I mean, my focus this year has truly been on meeting new people that I don't know, nurturing some relationships that I already have that maybe I haven't nurtured. Because my sole focus has been on, I need to meet and surround myself with people that are in my industry and that do my business. This year, I don't want to do that. And I've been focusing more on meeting people that are outside of my business. There are a couple of people that I really get along with well, and I thought I never see these people. I never see them. And so I've made a conscious effort this year to schedule lunch with those people, to schedule coffee and dinner with those people, and to nurture those relationships. Even though it won't bring me one penny of income, I don't care. Yeah. I just think that's where I'm at. I want to meet new people. And I've privately told you this, that maybe there's somebody important in both of our lives that's supposed to bring us to where we're supposed to be that we don't even know yet.
Right.
And that's kind of cool.
Yes. Yeah.
With anxiety, there's enough times where I'm thinking, oh, the world is falling apart. Wouldn't it be cool to flip that and go, I'm going to meet somebody today that's going to be the next biggest person in my life, and I have no idea what's going to happen today. And I think that's super cool. And I I think that's where my focus is to continue to do a good job, be where I'm needed to be, whether it's professional or personal. But I want to go meet some new people. I want to continue to learn from people, educate myself. I'm starving for that growth, and that's where I'm at.
So for anybody, I know you're not on social media. So what would be the best?
It's the third
way?
time you said that.
We're trying to. If you haven't, like, he's amazing on camera. So, and behind the scenes as far as all the other stuff. But what would be the best way for somebody to connect with you?
They could just call me, get a hold of you.
Call me, maybe.
Yeah, get my, reach out, get my phone number. I mean,
so I'll drop his phone number in the description below.
Yeah, give me a call. Reach out to Shelly. She'll tell me, hey, somebody's reaching out to you on social media. And listen, maybe one day I'll be on social media, but I feel like if and when I have something important to say, I'll say it. I don't want to be drowned out by all the other people saying the same. Does that make sense? Like I don't want to go with the flow. I want to be different. And, listen, if I'm on social media talking about mental illness, nobody wants to hear that, in my opinion. So
I would, I think this is probably where you and I may differ on this. You have a lot of great things to say. I mean, I haven't gone long on my on my podcast before, so you have a lot of great things to say in all areas, and so I would encourage you to lean into that, because I mean, even my own personal journey with family members who have had anxiety, their mental health is a big deal.
It is, yeah.
And I think to hear how you walk through it, how you've come through it. I mean, and I know there's some times where you're probably like, I still suffer from it today, but you are night and day different from when we were all going through that with you.
Yeah.
And so they always say you're best prepared to serve the person you were before. And you've had an amazing journey. And I think there's still more for you to achieve, but you definitely, I would stop the limiting belief on that, because people need to hear you, man.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah. That's something to think about. If I were ever on social media, it wouldn't be talking about the market, talking about rates, talking about why you should buy a home. Even though that's what I do, I feel like there's enough people that are giving that message. It would be truly on how to handle success, how to deal with mental illness, why it's so important to take care of yourself. I mean, I really feel like that's more relatable in every industry than just our industry. So I love my industry. I'm not retiring. I don't want any realtor to hear this and go, I can't work with this guy because he's not passionate about his industry. I am. I love to help people. But talk to me about mental illness and how it affected me and how I could help you. And I could talk to you for 5 hours. Yeah. Talk to me about where you think the market's going. I'll give you my general 5-6 minute spiel, and then let's move on to something more important. Your wife, your kids, your spouse, your family, your church. That's what moves the needle for me. So if I could find a platform on that, then, I'd probably do it. If not, I'll probably just continue to just be that way with the closest around me.
Well, we do have a new marketing director who could definitely help in that arena. Not that, which we could assign her to that as well, because I do think that the Jared Penn Show is needed for sure. The Jared Penn Show. I
appreciate that.
Well, I want to say, I'm going to close this. I appreciate you, and I love and respect you. I'm so grateful that you were able to come in here on, Monday notice and come in. And I'm just grateful for our partnership. I'm grateful for our friendship. I know I'm better because of you in my life, and so I thank you for that.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I feel the same way about you.
I know you do. And I'm grateful that we're doing this at least for another 5 years is what we've committed to each other.
Oh, I thought you meant this podcast.
No, we're good.
This relationship.
Tyler's like, cut. You're done.
Seriously. Tyler's ready for a bathroom break. We talked about that. It's been 70 minutes.
Right.
So I appreciate you having me on. I probably wouldn't have done this for anybody else, but you're special to me. You're important. And, there wasn't a whole lot of anxiety coming in here where normally this would have kept me up all night, but it's because, I feel comfortable around you. And if one person listens to this and it helps them, whether it's professional or personal, then it was worth every minute that we're doing. So
you helped me through this. You like a couple things that you said. I was actually like, that's actually the right play as far as the rate slowing it down. So I got something from you today, and so thank you for that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we are wrapping up this show. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Shelly Panzarella Show. Make sure that you share this podcast, because if you need to connect with Jared, I will drop all the information below. If you are looking at joining a great mortgage team, also connect with us as well. We'd love to help you walk through that with you. And then subscribe and click that notification button for the next one. We'll see you on the next round. Bye.
See you later.